All right. The title of this message is called The Contract. I remember my last message, the last fourth Sunday. Uh, you'll see a lot of similarities because I guess this one what I had in the queue before and never finished it. So some of it kind of went into the previous message, which was key defining moments. Now this one is pretty much, I would say, they join together in a series. I like them both together because as I look at this, I see a lot of connections and they go well together. Because in the last message, we talked about these decisions we make in our lives. This one is also with decisions, but the thing is, decision with who? That's what we focusing on now. So I will start off with sometimes I have my moments where I would stop, observe the world, the people in it, watching and wondering if some of these folks are really seeing it. You know, so now you have a perspective, you have a view, you see what's going on in this world, and you wonder if are people seeing what you're seeing. And you wonder if, because sometimes we have the better vantage point than others when it comes to situation. Some people are knee deep in some trials and tribulations, or super excited in a situation where they don't really see what's going on. But when you're not involved in that, when you don't have all these things tied to you, when you're in the distance, you look back, you can see all the angles, you can see everything. So you're like, whoa, that don't look too good. Because I'm seeing this, seeing that, and then this. But those who are in the field, they don't see it because they don't have that view like you do. And so sometimes we get to those moments. And sadly, we see a whole bunch of people sometimes just lining up like sheep to the slaughter because they fall into something and one by one being deceived, being tricked. Sometimes you see some good action, you see some good outcomes, but then when we see sadly what makes news, what makes the headlines, what gets all the attention is usually the negative, the downfalls. So what happens is we see all these enticing offers. They come to us sometimes, they'll bring something to you, trying to get you to, sign up for something. And it sounds so sweet, they give all the bells and whistles, that you want to hear, but then for some reason it requires a signature. And so when we reach that point, you got to decide. Now, when I say signature, I'm not meaning writing on the paper. That's included as well, but sometimes it's our word, sometimes our action that seals in the deal. So in this situation, I just want to say, who are you making decisions with? What quality of people are you deciding? Are you making these huge decisions, in these huge key defining moments in your life with? Because these things have major outcomes. So one thing, let's focus on the enticement. We all got issues in our lives, some things or something we desire, we looking forward to, and sometimes we get enticed by when you see something that you've been desiring. You could be driving by, you're a little hungry, you're in the mood for a hamburger. Next thing you know, you see this big old billboard with a hamburger on it, nice and beauty, well crafted. It looks like it was just calling out your name because you already had the desire in you. And when you saw it, it's like it feels like it just clicked, and then now it's like, oh, that's what I want. And you go for it, But the problem is we have the enemy also working in the field. We have God working in the field. And we have people who just out there random, working in the field, who haven't really, you got fence riders, you got people who just out in the midst doing whatever they want to do. And we got all these different type of things offering, to make a league with us, join us. You got different companies want you to sign up with them. You got different organizations want you to be on their side. You got different, political regimes and stuff want you to be with them. All these different offering out, stuff. And what you're going to hear is they're going to offer you things. And usually the stuff they point out, they know what you want to hear. They know what you want. So that's what they're going to put out, And the problem is that's not the whole thing. That's just a piece. And sometimes they can't even deliver that they claim that they want to deliver to you. But the problem is with us, we get so excited, oh, there is something. I've been waiting for something to do this. I've been waiting for that. And it's finally here. But what did they have? Got anything to back that off on? And sometimes, we don't do that research. We don't do that. So what contract you signing here? We have the devil out here running wild. We got God in the world doing his thing, working his mission. His will is being done. Now, obviously, Satan's going to be aggressive, God's going to do his thing. But guess what? Sadly, what's going to pull you in, lure you in a whole lot more? Because the way God works, the way God is calling us, he's doing it real, where he does his will, he does his thing, he does his action, and he just laid it out to you. Amen. But Satan is going to be the one that goes in and try to figure out, what do you like? What can I get you? How do we, when you see for example, the truth isn't always going to be sweet. The truth ain't always what you want to hear, but the truth is what we need. That's true, right? Amen. But when it comes to something that's not the truth, how do we get you to take in something that's not true? It's got to be something sweet. It's got to be something nice. So if we need the truth, but I'm trying to show you something that is not the truth, I got to find a way to entice you. I got to find a way to trick you. I got to find a way to get you on board. So now I'm going to go against the truth. I'm going to use the truth against the truth. Remember Satan with Eve, he came in with truth, but he mixed it in his lies in a fashion that will lure Eve into the route he went in. And it's the same thing we have in this world where it's not about what's good for you. It's not really about, what's going to make you live longer, what's going to really make you happy. It's not about what you're looking for in life to improve yourself, whatever. It's all about what can we get out of you. And that's how the world is. That's how Satan is trying to do. He's trying to manipulate us in certain ways, to get what he wants out of us. And the sad thing is, he knows our flesh. He knows the desires we have, the things we cave into each and every day. So he's like, oh, this person's a sucker for this. Oh, all I got to do is bring this to them, and they sign the contract. They sign the next contract. They sign the next contract. And God's going to lay out the facts. Take it or leave it. Now, one thing we can say is, when you look at God, when you look at the truth, it already prevails. It's something that we see it all the time. We see it. We witness it. We seen, some people work in this world and they say they don't know, they don't see God. They don't understand God. They don't believe in God. But when you look at life all around you, He is so visible. He is so out here each and every day. Because we have seen where we see how when you live a life full of wickedness, that it's a short term. Yeah, you see the wickedness prevail, you see all these different things, but how long does it last? How is it sustainable? But we see these high rises and quick falls. We see all these moments of shine in the completely darkness. You see people live up and crumble, fall apart, but yet, what did that say? That is a testimony. That is His truth, His word that He's been saying for all these thousands of years is being laid out before us, and we see it each and every day, but some people just not aware of it. They're not attentive to it. But, this is how God advertised His word. This is how God advertised what He wants for us. And it's something that's just out there, available to you. The word, the Bible, is everywhere all over the world. It's free. You don't have to go online and spend $500, or get in line to pre-order something to get this. It's fully accessible to you. Once we have a phone, all we got to go on the the store, Android store, or how you say it, the Apple store, and just it's free. Pick it up, scoop it up. That's how God sells it. God said you don't have to invest all this. You don't here. What I'm offering to you, I'm giving it to you. You know, when you see how grace is done, God did it for us. He didn't ask us to go out and do all this. You know, God laid out His truth, and He just freely, openly offers up to us. And how awesome and amazing that is. But, you know, Satan got to top that somehow. So we had a counter offer coming. How is Satan going to try to top this? He really can't. When you go line by line, we put this stuff, stack it up together, he really can't. But what he can do is tackle our senses. Amen. Something that get us out of our center. You know, so if this person has a short temper, they lose their cool so fast, this is where I can get them. Because if he's level, I can't get him, because if he's already aware of the word of God and the gift of God, the grace, the love, the mercy that all God is providing to us, then it won't last. Like, I can't compete against that. But if I can get him super excited, super charged up, angry, where he can't focus, he can't think, he'll make a decision that I want him to take. And that's how Satan works. Amen. That's how he gets us to sign that bad contract that we end up hating. You know, first off, it sounds so good. Oh, yes, let me have that. I'll take it. But then give it some time. Give it some time. It starts to fall apart. The next one I want to talk about is how it's, where we will focus on the bad side of the contract, how it's unmanageable. Some of these things that we get enticed to, it sounds so good, it sounds so sweet, but it's not sustaining. We get it, and all of a sudden, you notice this can't keep going the way this is. The longer it keeps going, you start noticing issues after issues. Things start to fall apart. For example, you could be offered a sweet job, probably pay you more money than you ever made in your whole life. And it sounds so good. And this may be something that you always wanted. But what this job required of you may be something far more exceeding that you can actually supply. Me and Adrian was just talking about how some of these things have trade-offs, where she was telling me about her boss, how her boss works day and night on the weekends. Sometimes she'll say email going out 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that, and you'd be like, wow. And sometimes these things that we so-called want so badly, it comes with some of these requirements that we're not really willing to give. Like, are you willing to sacrifice your time with your family for this job? Sometimes that's what it requires. Some jobs, it'll pay you so well, but guess what? You got to be on the road. You got to be from country to country each and every day. Are you willing to take that? The money will look really nice. Your bank will be full all the time, but your kids won't even know you. You know, you may finally have time off, go home. You'll see your child probably took on some new, listening to new type of music. The dress code on changed, the way they speak changed, and you don't even know who they are anymore. You're trying to connect to them. And then guess what? You got to go back to work again. Another 6, 7 months, you come back. You're trying to do this whole process again, getting to know your kid. And that's some of the sacrifices some people make. And some people are willingly taking it, but some people don't. And that's the question for us. With some of these offers that come to us, can we really take it? Is it really for us? Is it manageable? Can we live off this thing? Some people, you know, some of the things I would definitely say how Satan will really push on us, something that for us to desire, you know. For example, this may get kind of a little sketchy, but on the realm of the world of men, they'll see the women on the magazines, or they'll go to the strip club and see how the women are there, and suddenly this is the kind of woman they think they want to marry. They got to look like this. They got to look like that. They got to have all these different things. But they don't really know what that what you want comes with something. Is that manageable? Sometimes they just focus on how things look, but they don't think about, okay, is that a wife material though? That's the question. You see these things, but yeah, you like this, but can this person cook? Can this person clean? Can this person work? Can this person actually, work with you, same with the bills, hold the household with you? Sometimes they focus on the stuff they want, but then once they don't sign the contract, they realize, oh, this person can't do this, can't do that. They won't do this, they won't do that. And next thing you know, you start to realize on a, hindsight, I just signed a bad contract. And the same thing for women. We see some of the guys that you desire so much, but maybe it tickles one of your senses where maybe this guy is so handsome, or he's so tall, or you know how it is. What's the main thing that draw women to men? Is the height, or is it
tall, dark, and handsome?
There you go, tall, dark, and handsome. We got all these fancy stuff, but guess what? Then you sign that contract. All of a sudden, he's absent. You can't even communicate with him. You're just trying to have a conversation, and it's just flat. Or you need some help in the house. Maybe you need someone to fix something in the house, and he's not into that. He doesn't fix stuff. He doesn't, he's just completely the opposite that you expect. And sometimes we fall for that. And I think Satan definitely has his hand in this too. Some people may not expect that, because imagine getting into a marriage and it's already doomed to fail. When that happens, it doesn't just affect the two that come together. The damage is far greater. And I think Satan's aware of that. Sometimes we are not, but it's greater than what we expect it to be or we're aware of. And I see that some of these things we decide on, some of these things we sign the signature on, Satan already knows well that they signed this, they just forfeited this, and that. It's far deeper than you think, and it goes farther than you believe. That's why when we talk about sin, sometimes a lot of people underestimate the damages of sin. And Satan, I don't try to praise him, but I'm letting you know that he's aware of some of these things, and he's using it. So if we are sleeping on this, if we are not attentive on some of his actions, we could be continually signing bad contracts over and over and not aware how it's affecting our life, how it's affecting our children, how it's affecting our friends, how it's affecting our family, people around us. Sometimes these bad contracts go on for years and years and years and years and spreading and multiply to other people. And then when you see how Satan has the world by his fingers. He can manipulate the world the way he wants, because the world is fashion. The world moves on the senses, the taste, the touch, the feels. These things is how the world operates. Satan has that in full control. So when you're stuck, locked into your senses, where however you feel, that's the route you're going to take, you're going for a wild ride. A wild ride. So in conclusion, we're going to read Joshua 24 and 15. Now, I'm going to give you a little background before we get to this part. This is after God has declared the wondrous things that he has done for Israel. This is where Joshua was getting ready to pass. His part is winding down, and it's going on to the next generation to take the fold. But he's letting them know, God has done this for you. God has done that for you. The land they're about to take, God has already aggravated them, gotten them in a position where Israel can take them. And God has already done so much for them Then let's go to chapter 24, verse 15. And this is Joshua said, and if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom ye will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Going back, put this stuff in context. As you can see, he's mentioning some of the gods that was prevalent around at their time that they had to deal with. And obviously, the Israelites at that time were tempted. Some of them went off to worship some of these gods at the same time. So Joshua was trying to draw this line. It's like, God, you got to make a decision this time. Sign a contract this time. And he's letting them know, for me, if y'all don't know what to do, let me show you what I'm doing. Me and my family, we will serve the Lord. And for those that are women who are lost, undecided, they can see, okay, Joshua been leading us. He's been doing all this for us. Right. And he's deciding to go serve the Lord. I don't know what to know. So, but this man has shown his way. He has laid the work. He's done the work, everything. So I'm going to follow him. That's why I love how God is pushing us to be examples, to be witnesses to the world. Because when we try to live this life the way God has intended for us, people are going to see us. And those who are unsure, not knowing what to do, we will help them with the decisions. We will help them decide whether they should go. Because God is letting us know he's given us the path. He's given us the courage, the wisdom, everything we need to be able to make these decisions, and that the world may see. You know, sometimes even when our children, so me and Adrian, our kids are getting to the point where they're already at the point, they are deciding their life, their decisions on their own. And they have the world. Satan's already knocking at their door, trying to have them sign contracts. Come here, do this, do that. But one thing we do have, God has given us both that life that we can live witnessing, so they can see us. So when it's time to make a decision, even after they made maybe a few bad contracts, they will see they have something visible, that tangible, they can see that, okay, this is how they did it, and this is how it turned out. This is how things going for them. Maybe I should follow in the path like they did. Not saying that they need to follow exact steps, no, but the foundation need to be laid to know. And that's how I hope we all do at the same time. So we all signed dotted line. Some of us was excited, couldn't wait. But then in reality, we hit and left scrambling, trying to hold it together. See, that special thing draws us in our inner desires. And once then we signed and the payment was requested, and we started to see the mess we got ourselves into. Spending far more than we can imagine on something with no value. Screw that up, but that's what you deal with Satan. He's trying to get you to sign something that's going to cost you more than you even can afford. But let you know, when you see God ain't hiding anything. God's going to give us the whole thing. And some of it we don't like. Some of it we don't appreciate. But that's what we need. And that's what the factor that gravitates me to God, because whenever something that always send you what you want to hear, the sweet lies, the sweet telling jokes and stuff, the stuff that you want to hear all the time, something is wrong with it. You know, because it sounds like it's a marketing catch when they're trying to get you to pull you. And I just definitely bring this message along so we know and be aware of Satan, one of his prevalent devices that he uses when it comes to drawing us, luring us in. So going back to what I said before, like God, he represents the truth. He lays it all out there. And what Satan has to offer doesn't match and cannot stand against it. So Satan's going to try the tricks. He's going to tackle our senses. So knowing that, one thing we got to do is make sure we don't make these decisions when we know we are at this moment we're out of center. When the moment I'm fully angry, I'm not gonna make a decision. When the moment I'm way too excited, I'm not gonna make a decision. Let me wait. Let me calm down a bit. Let me see how it really is, because that's how Satan works. Thank you.